Hello and welcome. I'm Kassia with Intuitive Insights. On this channel, we discuss everything to do with the Ascension process. If this is your first time checking out our channel, I definitely recommend that after the video, you browse through our different playlists. We have all different types of videos on all aspects of this Ascension process. So there's a little bit of something for everyone here. Today we are doing a twin flame reading, and we are doing this for the month of June for all of my Virgos. And so this is going to be Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising signs, as well as for the cross-watcher of the Virgo. I do want to let everyone know that we have a contest going this month. Whichever video gets the most likes and comments is going to get a bonus video for the month of June from both myself and Kayla. So good luck with that, my beautiful Virgos. And let's just feel into this energy for you guys. Virgo, June, twin flame energy. Virgo, June, twin flame. I don't know why I just picked this deck up when I was talking, so I guess this is where we're going first. Virgo, June, twin flame. What are the energies? Virgo, June, twin flame. Okay. Condition. Virgo, June, twin flame. Okay, interesting. So we have, and this is the card I noticed first, so I'm going to bring this one up first. We have a recognition. And so what I'm feeling from this card is that in the month of June, Virgos, you guys are recognizing your twin flame connection. For some of you, this may mean that you're meeting somebody new and there's like that spark of recognition that happens when you guys first realize, okay, to backtrack. So when we meet our twin flame, right, there is this instant recognition that happens, and we may not identify it for exactly what it is right off the bat, but there is a soul resonance. We recognize them and we feel a connection to them. We feel a pull, we feel a draw that we can't really understand, right? And so that may be happening for some of you if you are meeting, because some twin flames are meeting for the first time right now, right? And for others who do have known their counterpart and have perhaps not really been sure, or maybe not even known what the twin flame concept was, and have been maybe doing a little bit of research lately, there is this recognition happening where you're coming to the understanding this could apply to somebody else. This could apply to you or them, right? Swap it to fit however it fits. You or your counterpart is in this process of recognition, realizing and understanding that what this connection is, right? And so there's definitely this process going on of that. And for some people, it may be a little shocking. Some people may have been mulling this over for a little bit and sort of kind of going back and forth on it. And some people may have completely dismissed the idea, or as I said, not even known it was a concept until recently. And now, bam, all of a sudden they're recognizing, right? They're feeling that connection and witnessing and seeing that connection for what it is. And we also have, so we got a lot going on here. So we have balancing the scales. And so this card reminds me of, if we were looking at tarot cards, this would be like the Justice card, right? So it's karma. It's sort of like, there may be for some who do know their counterpart, have had a relationship or interactions with them in the physical, there may be a need or a desire to sort of balance the scales and bring justice to situations where there was injustice. For others, this is also just like the clearing out of the karma. Like, that's a thing that's been happening, right? Is we meet, and at first sometimes twin flames originally meet each other just because the presence of being in each other's energy activates them, right? So we activate each other, and then sometimes that's the only purpose right off the bat, is just that initial activation. And then we separate, we continue to grow, and then it's like we come back around when we need more activation, when we need more growth, when we have something else to learn from each other, right? And so Why was I talking about that? I don't even know. So there's this initial activation, right, that happens. There's always, I was talking about it because sometimes it can seem confusing for those of us who meet our twin flame, right, or the person that we perceive to be our twin flame, our counterpart in the physical, and then things don't work out, and it's just like, why would we have come together for such a short period of time, right? Like sometimes the first time twin flames meet and come together, it's a very brief encounter and it doesn't seem to make any sense. And it's because we come together for that initial activation, right? And then after that, I mean, in order for twin flames to come into union in the physical, they have to have worked out and evened out their own karma. They have to work out and even out the karma between each other, right? Which oftentimes twin flames don't. Actually, I don't want to say that. Some people say that twin flames don't necessarily incarnate with karma between each other to work out. But, I mean, nobody knows the answers to any of that. I think that sometimes they do. There is the school of thought that says that twin flames have spent multiple lifetimes trying to come back together in the physical and sort of working through this stuff lifetime after lifetime. So it all depends on what you believe. But either way, like the karma, any karma has to be cleared. So this is why a lot of times twin flames will meet and then one or the other will leave to pursue these karmic relationships because there's something there that they need to learn from this other person. There's healing that has to occur. There's karma that has to be worked out because for the ultimate twin flame union to occur, when the twin flames unify and don't have all of that heaviness and that baggage between them anymore and can just focus on their mission and bringing light to the world and uniting humanity and doing all of that, in order for that to happen, like all of that other stuff has to be taken care of first. Like they can't have karma left with other people. And so that's some of the balancing of the scales that's been going on as well. So there's a lot with that card. And just evening out all of that karma. I also feel like the balancing of the scales as far as like understanding goes, as far as logic and intuition goes, as far as unifying the masculine and the feminine aspects within themselves. So all of that different energy, lots of energy going on with that. And I'm also feeling that as these situations are playing out, as these scales are being balanced, there's more of a recognition and an understanding. And there's like that recognition and understanding of the journey and why the journey has been happening the way it's been happening and what was necessary to learn. And also like why these lessons were learned and these situations were encountered and what kind of role those situations can play in the mission moving forward when they do come back together, if and when in the physical. There's a lot of different theories about that out there as well. My own personal belief is that the aim is for twin flames to unite in the physical, in this lifetime, in this timeline, in this ascension right now. I feel as though that is an integral piece of the part of the puzzle. We talk about how twin flames are basically ascension partners, right? We remind each other of our divinity. We trigger each other to grow and to change at the same time, right? Like we do all of these things for each other to help each other through this ascension process. But the end goal is to help humanity through that ascension process, right? Is to help show humanity what unconditional love looks like, what it looks like to be and embody unity consciousness, all of that. Like that's the ultimate goal, right? And what better way to do that than to be united in the physical? And just the energy of twin flames coming together when all of those barriers are gone and they're able to fully merge their energies and the portal of love that's created by that. Like I really do believe, I mean, if it doesn't work out for everyone, it doesn't work out for everyone. We still have free will, like we can still we can still fuck this up, right? And that's okay because like everything is perfect and everything is beautiful, and it's not absolutely necessary to come together in the physical as long as we still have individual missions that we're able to accomplish as well, right? And some twin flames may accomplish their missions not necessarily being together, but still feeding off of each other's energy, right? So there's like all different ways that this can go down. But for me personally, the feel and the vibe that I get is that that is the ultimate goal and intention. Once all of this, it's about achieving self-love. It's about the ascension process. It's about working through all of these things, right? But at the end of the day, after that is all said and done, like, it is also about showing the world what it looks like to be completely united in unconditional love. Showing the world what that feels like, right? We have the admired card. And so this it's interesting because I was just thinking, it's like they talk about sometimes, and I've certainly had this experience, the energy when twin flames are able to be together without their barriers up, the energy that creates, we're talking about that love portal, right? That unconditional love portal. Like, the energy that creates is so magnetic that other people literally stop and stare. It's like just being present with each other teaches people about love because they can feel it, they can sense it, they can see it. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing when that is able to happen. But that, like, to remain in that energy means to work through all of that shadow stuff. It means to balance all of those scales without and within, right? Anything we balance within, we also balance without, and vice versa. It means going through all of that process and really being able to be open and to be vulnerable with each other, right? And yeah, all of that. So, but yeah, so I'm feeling that. And also from the admired card, I'm just feeling as though some of you are being admired and some of you are admiring. As this recognition is sort of taking place, there's this deep love and admiration for your twin that you're feeling and sensing. And so from them, or if this is about you, that you are feeling for them, right? And so it's just like this level of respect and admiration, and sort of like cheering each other on. It's like you guys are each other's cheerleaders. And whether you're even communicating in the physical, like, that energy is doing that. And that's absolutely beautiful. Like, it's making me smile just thinking about it and feeling it, I can definitely, I can feel that energy, and it's beautiful. And that's the kind of space that we want to be in, right? That's that space of joy. That's that space of unconditional love, and just always rooting each other on, no matter what is going on the outside, right? Is just that deep respect and admiration that we feel for each other. And so I definitely feel that coming through very strongly. As this recognition is happening, this admiration is deepening, and this, yeah. But we have the self-worth card here, right? So that this is so important. It's like, for anyone who's in this dynamic right now, just know that if you can feel that energy for your counterparts, you can feel that energy for yourself, because they're a manifestation and a reflection of you. So what you admire about them, you also have within you. And that is so important to understand, and that's where the self-worth ties in. It's like realizing and understanding our own worth. Like, this is a key part of this journey, right? Like, I talk about this sometimes, is if we don't love ourselves, we cannot possibly love our counterpart, right? Because they are an aspect of our energy, right? They are us. So if I don't love myself, there's no way that I can love you, because you just reflect back to me the fact that I don't love myself. And that can look like a whole bunch of different things. But no matter what that looks like, that has the same result. It's like, as long as I'm still running from me, I'm always going to be running from you. So when we get into this place of truly loving ourselves, then that naturally just begins to attract the energy of our counterpart, because they are an aspect of ourselves. And that's what makes it possible to come back into communication, to come back into union, is that, it really is a journey of self-love. Everything is a journey of self-love, right? And so it's really, really, really wanting that. And really, I feel for some of you guys, you've been doing a lot of work around self-worth and about understanding your own worth, and really wanting, and knowing, understanding everything that I'm talking about right now, right? And really coming into more of a fullness of that, But I mean, it's like, it's funny, right? Because it's almost like a lifelong pursuit. And so, yeah, I mean, I work on this with myself all the time. It's like, for me, it's very insidious. Like, on the conscious level, I don't struggle with self-worth. But more deeply inside of my being, I absolutely do. And it's really uncomfortable sometimes, kind of like digging that stuff up and looking at that and examining that, right? But I mean, it has to be done. It has to be done. And the way that we determine our level of self-worth is by looking at the outer circumstances as well, as far as like, what am I allowing in my life? How am I allowing people to treat me? You know, like, what am I, how am I, yeah, where am I compromising myself? Where am I not? Where am I, you know, sacrificing when it comes to like doing a job that's not I hate saying this because it's not like anything is not worthy, right? But like, or I wanted to say beneath me, but I mean like doing something that doesn't, anything that if I do or I participate in any behavior or any situation that does not show my value, then that shows me that there's somewhere where I'm lacking self-worth. And so yeah, that's a huge barometer that I use to judge that, is just like, what kind of energy am I allowing into my life? As well as like, how am I treating myself when it comes to just basic stuff, like how am I eating? You know, different things like that. I mean, I know that I've had an issue really trying to quit smoking. I've been struggling with this for a while, right? So like, I understand that there must be some self-worth stuff hidden under there, because why would I do that? I mean, I don't necessarily think it's always everything's, and we're not going to get into my opinions on all of that, but you know, like, there are certain things that I do to my body that don't necessarily denote or reflect self-worth. So like, these are a lot of things that you guys are looking at and thinking about right now and really coming to understand. And then we have patience on the bottom of the deck. So this journey has involved a lot of patience. It may involve some more patience still. And it's really taught, your journey with your counterpart has really taught you how to be patient. It's taught both of you how to be patient. Like how to, like, that's been a lesson that you've both had to learn, right? And just may still be learning. How to be patient, and then also how to differentiate, like, when it's being patient and when it's just kind of like dragging your heels. You know, like when am I being patient, and then when am I being afraid to act when the time has come to act, and confusing that with patience. So like, just understanding all of the subtleties of patient, but really just like being patient with yourselves too. Like, this is because everything's a mirror, right? So when we're impatient with each other, what we also are is being impatient with ourselves. Like, I love how this is right next to the self-worth card, and just like going with that. So it's just like really this journey of accepting each other where we're at, which is really accepting ourselves where we're at, right? And just allowing the process to unfold the way that it's meant to unfold, and really learning how to trust in divine timing. And then we have devotion on the bottom of the deck, which is just beautiful. And I feel that energy coming through really strongly. I feel as though, for a lot of you, I'm getting the feeling as though it's sort of like there has been this process that's required a lot of patience, and there's been a lot of work done in a lot of areas, a lot of work that really needed to be done. But somebody's energy is coming through right now, and they're wanting to share with someone who's watching this that their devotion has never wavered. Their devotion to you was never the issue, and they are still so devoted to you. They see you, it's like you are this flame, you are this fire. You are this fire within them that helps them to keep going when they feel like they can't, when they feel like they're stuck, when they feel like they're losing themselves. Like, you are that light that draws them back to themselves. You are that flame within them. You inspire them. You are everything to them. And whoever this is really, really wants you to know that. I'm feeling like this is a masculine communicating with their feminine, but it could go either way. It could go either way. You know, and then we have, so yeah, that message was absolutely for someone. And then we have fear on the bottom of the deck as well. So this is also something that's coming up and sort of blocking the connection a little bit, or something that's had to be worked through. They're drawing me back to the fact that it was like this, and I usually don't read reversals, but if they're telling me to, so it's like needing to come out of that fear consciousness, right? Because this would be coming out of fear consciousness, and just what that process has looked like. And like there still are some fears, maybe, holding them back. And, you know, I mean, that's just another part of this journey, right? Is like overcoming those fears and overcoming those blocks. And just there were just so many aspects of fear. Like fear will get us every time, right? Like we're learning how to unite and come together in love, but in order to come together in love, like we have to walk through our fears. Like our fears will come up, like so many fears come up to be purged, so in the twin flame connection, right? And it's like the twin flame connection can be very overwhelming, and it can be very scary because we meet a person who is unlike anyone that we've ever met before, that we have this connection with that we've never experienced with another human being. And the level of love that we feel capable of in regards to how we view them, how we feel about them, we understand that level of pain is also possible if things don't work out. And that's a really scary place to be in a spot where you want to give your heart to somebody, but you understand that if you allow yourself to feel for them fully, and then that gets taken away, the pain that will bring. And so this is a really legitimate fear that I think some people, I'm picking up on, that some people were working through. If I'm thinking of it, there's always a reason, so I'm going to say it, right? And that's a fear that has to be worked through too. That fear of like, what happens if I lose you? And so, yeah, it's almost easier, right, to know that you have this connection with someone and to just allow them to be out there, drawing support from them, right? Drawing inspiration from them, knowing that this person exists in the world, but not having to actually become close to them and risk losing them or risk things not working out, right? It's like the fantasy and just the knowing is so much easier than actually putting ourselves out there and risking, like, what if we fuck this up? And so I'm going to do, I'm being drawn to the Secret Language of Light deck for some reason. So we're going to draw something from this as well. And so let's get a card for the feminine. What has the feminine been going through? What is the feminine dealing with right now in her awakening, in her ascension, in her connection with her masculine? That one wanted to come out. Okay. Any more cards for the feminine? All right. So we have wellness was the first card that came out. So the feminine is really working on taking care of her physical right now. So this is for, you know, Virgo twin flame feminines and their cross watchers, right? So she's really in this space, or this is if you're a masculine watching this video, this is, you know, could be for your feminine. This is, or your own aspect of your own feminine, inner feminine as well. So like I said, however it fits, right? Just flip it around. It's very flexible. This is a general reading, right? So the feminine is really working on her wellness. She's really working on being grounded and centered in her physical being. She's really working on also her connection. Like I'm being drawn in this card to, like, this is like the sword, right? So it reminds me of like the Ace of Swords, which is understanding, it's downloads, it's like flashes of insight. So she's really working on also grounding her physical energy, grounding all of the light that's coming through her, really connecting with the earth, connecting with her divine feminine being and essence, and how that earth mother energy, right? Like what it means to be a feminine energy, really coming into an ownership of that. And she's also receiving a lot of, she's meditating, she's working on her connection with spirit, and she's receiving a lot of insight and a lot of downloads. And they're not just coming through the upper chakras, they're coming in through the heart chakra too. Like, see how it's the heart, the heart up there, right? And so, yeah, she's really learning how to connect her heart chakra, how to connect and build that bridge to the heart. And she's really just focused on her own growth and her own journey right now, and just really coming into her own as far as that goes, and really like understanding and coming into her mission work, and learning how to ground that in the physical as well, learning how to channel that, learning how to share what it is that she's learning, and just really centering, becoming centered in herself. And then we have transformation. Like, she's going through an incredible transformation right now, like in so many ways, like spiritually, emotionally, physically. She's understanding so many things, she's getting so many insights, she's really connecting to her spiritual self, and she's just in this complete rebirthing process, right? And this is like, it's beautiful because this is like, we got the earth here, and then we have all the energy coming out from it cosmically, right? So that's really amazing. It's really making me think of the new earth in this picture, and how she's understanding her mission as far as the new earth goes as well, and as far as being one of those forces that helps to ground in those energies and helps to really like bring us into that new era in every way that means. We talk about anchoring in the new earth all the time, right? We talk about anchoring in unity consciousness, anchoring in abundance consciousness, like what that looks like and what that means. And so she's having a lot of transformations around that as well, and just really understanding, like I'm thinking, and I'm being called to think about the when Kayla and I talk about the timelines and how we're able to switch our timelines and all of that process. Like, as I record this video, this is the 6/6 portal. And so we are having that massive timeline recalibration going on right now, which means that what we're thinking about and what we're putting our energy into is going to manifest very quickly. And so she's understanding this, and she's like, oh, it's so cool the way I have these laid out. I want you guys to be able to see that. So it's sort of like, you see, it's all of this energy. She's bringing this down. She's channeling this down through her physical vessel, and sharing that energy with the earth. And the earth is just like growing, and the vibration is increasing, and it's just like exploding with light. Like, that's really fucking cool. So she's really into that right now. She's really into and understanding her purpose, her divine mission. And she's also understanding of, you know, her mission with her counterpart. And just sort of like, in the meantime, like, hey, I'm here, I'm doing my thing. Like, I understand that there is a mission together. There's also a separate mission, which, you know, for a lot of us may actually be the same mission, but whatever. You know, like, there are things that I can do on my own or with my other collaborators and my other group, and like, I'm doing those things, and I know where I'm going, I know what's important, and she's just like super fucking focused on that right now. And she's also receiving animal messages. We got divine animals. So this is building her own connection with animals, and also like receiving those messages from the spirit realm, possibly from her masculine as well. I feel like the feminine is getting communication from the masculine in the form of animals. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have Ask Your Soul. So, and what I got immediately when I looked at this was, I think that there are some feminines who are in this place where they felt like they knew who their masculine was, and then there's part of them that's starting to wonder who that has always wondered. And I think that's where that recognition card comes in, right? It's like, we recognize, but then we question, and then we recognize, but then we question. And so it always goes back to like, ask your soul. And this is true for everything, not just if we're trying to understand our counterpart. Like we get really attached to the idea of a specific person, right? And so Kayla and I really stress attempting to detach from that. But it's like, so I don't necessarily, yeah, that's all I'll say about that, is like people do get really attached to that. And people get really, I think the point that I'm trying to make here is people get so caught up trying to figure out, like, is this my twin flame? Is this a karmic soulmate? Is this like what's going on here? And it's like we get so caught up in the labels and all of that stuff, but it's just like, listen to your soul. What is your soul telling you? Is your soul telling you that this is a person that you have, that the energy is their energy calling you? Do you feel as if there is a divine purpose for this connection? Do you feel that that purpose has been fulfilled, or are you being called to seek more from that connection? Right? Like, ask your soul those questions. Your soul always knows. And when it comes to anything in your life, any decisions that you're trying to make right now, any path, I feel as though the feminine does have a lot of options in a lot of different areas right now as well. And so she's just trying to figure all of that out, right? She's trying to figure out, what choice do I make? What career do I choose? Like, what path do I go? Like, what, all of these things, like, do I go, do I stay, do I move, do I, whatever. And it just the little things as well. So it's like just really going within and asking your soul for the answers to those questions. She's in this process of really learning and cementing in how to do that. The divine feminine is definitely connected with her guides, with her angels. And so she can ask them, absolutely. And when she's asking them, really what she is, like, we're all one, right? So it's like that's still asking her soul. But it's just like really going within and connecting to our higher selves with any questions that we have. If we're trying to figure out, like, who are we, right? Where do we come from? All of these questions. It's like, ask your soul for those answers. And if it's not important to know, then that will be the answer. And that's okay too. It's not always important to know. I gave up quite a while ago trying to really figure out too much into, like, getting labels for myself as far as, like, what kind of starseed am I, like, what is my origin. I mean, I still think about these things a little bit, but I don't spend an inordinate amount of time trying to figure it out. It doesn't really matter. I'm here. I understand what my mission is. I understand what my purpose is. I understand why I'm here right now. And I'm always open to understanding more, right? And that's all I really need to know. And my soul and my guides tell me everything that I need to know as I need to know it. So it's just like trusting that and letting go. And it's interesting, we have the sword here too, right? So the feminine is in a lot of ways in a place of surrender. Like, she may be trying to figure some things out, but then, like, she flows back to this place of surrender. And if you are in that space, like I was just talking about trying to figure everything out and trying to get really, like, in the head, right? Like, Virgo is a very, very mental sign, very cerebral sign, very mentally active. Like, I mean, there's quite a few overthinkers in the zodiac, but Virgos, I mean, you take the cake. We take the cake. I can include myself in that because, I have a Virgo moon and overriding Virgo. Virgo is the dominating energy in my natal chart as well. So trust me, I understand. I feel you guys. So it's just like letting go, learning how to let go and release all of that. And the feminine, I feel like, has been in a process of sort of ebbing and flowing in and out of that state of surrender. And so it's just like always centering back to that surrender, always like knowing, like everything that I just said, like everything that we need to know, we will know and we will be shown when we need to know it. And otherwise, just like release that. And when it comes to manifesting, set those intentions and then release that energy and let it go. Stop trying to figure everything out. Let go of all of your preconceived notions. And it's interesting because I was talking about a whole bunch of different theories in the beginning of this video, right? Of like what people think about twin flames. And so it's actually wicked funny that this is coming up right now. I think this is for me too. It's like, let go of everything you think you know about the twin flame connection as well. Let go of everything you think you know about who your counterpart is and just ask your soul follow the messengers that are trying to show you, right? Show you where to go. Allow this transformation to continue to happen. And I'm also feeling this transformation card is like, as we allow ourselves to transform and as we shed all of these preconceived notions and all these ideas about how this journey should go, that's when the journey is able to unfold the way that it's meant to. It's like the moment that we surrender control. So just, yeah, like really letting go all of that stuff and just continuing to be this beautiful, bright light in the world. It's going to be too hard to hold it up for you guys to see, but it's really cool how these cards got laid out here, because it's like there's a beautiful heart with light coming out of it. And then there's another heart. And then there's another heart. So it's just like so much love and so much heart energy. Just like this cosmic heart awakening, like we were talking about. Like that's really what's going on. And I'm feeling for a lot of feminines too. It's like the let go is also like, as we're having this cosmic heart awakening, which is transforming us, right? We're into this place where we're able to let go and surrender, because we know, first of all, we're really anchored into that understanding that separation is just an illusion and we're never actually separate. And in the 5D, like, we are together, right? And so that doesn't pain us anymore. We're able to release things, and we're able to look at everything as the feminine energy is ascending into this 5D consciousness. She's being able to look at everything from a much higher perspective and just like release everything and just know that like what is meant to happen will happen exactly when it's meant to happen. So let's get some cards for the masculine now. Virgo, twin flame, what is the masculine energy experiencing on their ascension path, their twin flame path? Masculine energy. Virgo. Masculine energies, what are they experiencing? Okay, so we got authentic truth. That's pretty cool. It almost looks like an eye to me. Like this light is coming out of this eye. So I'm also feeling for a lot of you, like third eye awakenings going on. And just really like being able to see from a whole different perspective. Like the masculine is stepping into his authentic truth, his authentic power, realizing where he's been taking on other people's truths as his own, and really shedding that energy and stepping into his own truth. I'm feeling the recognition energy again too, right? There's like all of this stuff that he's seeing and recognizing, and he's really learning how to own his own truth and how to stand firm in that. And he's seeing everything. He's seeing from this higher perspective. He's really beginning to see through his third eye, right? Like we talk about 2 eyes to look and 1 to see. And just really getting anchored into that and being able to perceive everything from this higher perspective is really unlocking some doors for him. Like some doors in his consciousness, some doors in just doors in general. He's starting to come into this really deep understanding where that's why he's beginning to recognize things as well, right? To be able to recognize his twin flame, to be able to recognize his own, and like get in touch with his own feminine energy, but really building his masculine energy and strengthening his own masculine energy, really stepping into that and really understanding his role in all of this ascension process and in his own personal life of standing for his authentic truth, showing authentic truth, like acknowledging this truth and living this truth. Like that energy has been so prevalent in so many readings, right? And it's coming through really, really strong. So he's really his ability to discern is growing. His intuition is growing. He's just really getting in touch with all of that. I feel very much like in a lot of ways I'm feeling the cosmic mind awakening. So it's interesting because I feel like the cosmic heart awakening and the cosmic mind awakening. So that's pretty cool. And then we have sensitivity. with the rose. This card's come up quite a few times. This came up in the live last night too, right? And so that's really cool with those cards right under each other. I love the imagery of these cards, you guys. Just the way they look right under each other. And so it's like, and this is so the cosmic mind and the cosmic heart, right? So it's like, as this truth, as he's getting more in touch with his authentic truth, as that is speaking to him, as he's being able to discern that, like the truths and the motivations of the people around him, like being able to read into situations, being able to read into energy on a deeper level than he ever has before. That's happening for the masculine as well. It's like his sensitivity is increasing, his sensitivity to energy, his sensitivity to bullshit, really, and like being able to cut through that and move through that. And also like his heart is opening, even though, you know, he's stepping into his power, and he's seen where he has to cut out things and where things have to be removed and where there was not truth before. He's seen the truth. He's seen where his perception, like the ways that his perception affected his understanding of truth as well, and sort of like what needs to be adjusted as a result of that. But it's like his heart is also opening up. He's also in this beautiful space of like learning how to stand in his truth and stand in his power in a way that's compassionate and in a way that is still sensitive and still honors everyone in a situation, every aspect of a situation, and every aspect of himself. And he's really learning how to honor himself as well, which is really beautiful. And this is all part of his soul's journey. This is all part of the lessons that he needed to learn, the energy that he needed to come into. And he's stepping into the next level of his soul journey, is what I feel is happening right now. Like he's leveling up. He's learned these lessons. He's stepped into his truth. He's stepped into his power. He's also like, his heart is awakening and opening. And now he's ready for the next level of his soul journey. We have manifestation on the bottom of the deck. So he's really ready to like move forward into the world and manifest. Like that's when our masculine energy is fully developed, right? Like it's functioning in its most effective nature. Like we are powerful manifestors, right? It's that action, right? Like so the manifestation process involves both our feminine and our masculine aspects in order, when we're talking about the aspects of ourselves, in order to function, right? Like we need like that creativity and that inspiration and that flow from the feminine, but then we also need that action from the masculine energy. And so he's really stepping into that take action kind of mode. And he's understanding how he's manifested situations in his life, and he's ready to really take control of what he manifests moving forward. And we have number 13, insight, as well. So it's like he's gaining some really, really beautiful and potent spiritual insights into situations, insights into himself, insights into past situations, and like how to move forward to create what he wants to create in the future. This is also him tapping into his own intuition, him really, you know, we have this third eye awakening, right? Like going on, this cosmic mind awakening, like really tapping into his own insight and learning how to utilize, like I've talked about this before, like Virgos, you guys, you and Scorpios, right? You're both really, really good at understanding people's motives, at seeing beyond like what's being spoken to like what's deeper under the surface there, right? And so you guys are really good at that. But like as your authentic truth, as your vision is opening more, you're starting to see the ways in which sometimes your own personal biases may have gotten in the way when you were perceiving things. And now you're learning how to utilize this insight direct from spirit, right? Direct from your higher self, to really aid you in this keen ability that you already have to discern truth and to understand situations and the subtleties and the contexts, and to really be able to navigate your way through situations. Like you're taking your insight, you've removed and cleared some of this baggage, right? You've balanced those scales, you've got some of that garbage out of there, and now you're really stepping into this this place of being like incredibly insightful and incredibly, like, your psychic powers are just really gaining momentum, and that's only adding to your ability to navigate situations in an authentic way and in a very successful way. So that's fucking awesome. And then we also have joy on the bottom of the deck. So for you guys, I wanted to pull that too. Like, find your joy, find your bliss. Your joy is leading you right now. Like, those things that make your heart sing, those things that light your heart up, like, that's what's calling to you, and that's what's calling you down where your path wants to take you next. So, like, really open up to that, be aware of that. And then we have whispers, which makes me think of, like, the whispers of your soul. Like, listen to the little ways that your soul is whispering to you. I also am picking up that for some of you, your feminine is whispering to you as well. And so it's like really being able to tune into that. Like, we have a lot of telepathic communication that's going on right now between twin flames. And so it's not always like a conversation, right? But it's feeling their energy, sensing their energy around us, having those little signs and synchronicities pop up, whether it's the animals, right? Whether it's different songs that come on the radio, whether it's things that people say to us at these really key critical moments, right? Like signs, billboards, like however it is, like we speak to each other in so many different ways. And it's just about like really learning how to listen for that. And it's like not just the feminine. The feminine is definitely speaking to the masculine in that way. But on top of that, and I just heard like guiding them, right? But on top of that, like spirit in every way, shape, and form. You know, your higher selves. The masculine's higher self is speaking to him. So it's just like really listening to those little whispers. Those little whispers and following that joy and that bliss. And then focus. Like deciding what you want and really focusing on how you can go about making that happen. And then I also want to pull here, create space. So create the space to do that. Create the space to be able to really listen to yourself, to be really able to hone these abilities that are coming up right now. I feel like the divine masculine is really stepping into this space just as the feminine has, of their abilities coming online, realizing that they have capabilities, that they have gifts that they hadn't realized, like really feeling that being boosted. So just take advantage of that. And then I want to do a couple Moonology cards for union energy here. So let's do union energy. Energy is required to come into union, or for those who are, to be more harmonious in that union. Energies, union energy. Virgo twin flame, union energy. Whew. Okay. So we got new moon eclipse, expect powerful change. So I would say for a lot of you guys, I've been feeling this energy, you know, between all these eclipses that we're having this year. Like we have 3 this month. We just had 1 yesterday. We're still in the energy of that. And we're going to be in the energy of eclipse season really for 6 months after the last eclipse, which happens, I think, in December. Don't quote me on that. Something like that, right? We're not there yet. So I haven't, but we do have, you know, we have the 3 coming up. We already had 1 earlier in the year. So that's 4. So there's 2 more coming, right? So really 6 months into the new year, we're going to be feeling the energy from this eclipse season. But especially with the ones going on right now, I've been feeling this. So it's like just there's significance around that and around the insights that are unfolding around these eclipse times, right? I also I just heard Total Eclipse of the Heart, right? Like that's a song. So I have a reader I watch and she likes to sing to people when songs get channeled to her. I'm not going to do that. I'm not quite there yet. You guys really don't want to hear that. But look that song up if you want. Like that's the song. And honestly, they know I don't like to sing because I didn't hear the song in my head. I just heard the words. The words just popped into my mind. So like a total eclipse of the heart, right? So something around this energy, or if it's not to do specifically with the eclipse time, then it's just that energy in general. It's like this when we talk about recognition, for some people it may be this instant, like all of a sudden, like you weren't sure, or maybe you didn't even know, or maybe it wasn't even a concept. For some of you, you may have been mulling back and forth about it, and then all of a sudden, boom, like in this one moment, you just know and you realize. And it's like, change is going to happen very quickly. I feel as though, yeah, there's a lot of people who feel as though their situation is hopeless, or they're, you know, they've gotten so used to being patient that they just feel like they're kind of going to be in that waiting game forever. And like, this is saying, like, there is intense and powerful change coming. And I'm feeling, as we continue to be more unified in our masculine and feminine aspects of ourselves, that's going to continue to pull the momentum of this change. And then we have, what do you need to release? So like what we were talking about, right? Like balancing the scales, releasing all of that stuff, knowing when the scales have been balanced and when it's time to move on, you know, as well. And just getting rid of all of those fears, like, right? We talked about that fear popping up. We talked about that fear coming through. And it's just like, I feel this energy of, for some of you, it's like you are admiring someone from afar, or they are admiring you from afar. And it's just like, that energy can get really comfortable sometimes too. So just like, we get so used to that and we get so comfortable with that. And that's where it says, step out of your comfort zone. Like at some point it's ready to take the steps that you're guided to take. Or like for some of you, I feel like the universe is just going to orchestrate something, because like we've learned the art of patience, but now like it's time to move. And if we're not moving, the universe may possibly do this. But for some people, not for all people, for some people, honestly, part of the lesson is realizing like when it's time to take action ourselves, instead of expecting the universe to do everything for us. So I'm feeling that that's coming up as well, that's sort of a roadblock for a lot of people. So it's like releasing expectations, that's coming up too. So for some people, it's releasing the expectations, and that's what it means about letting go too, right? Like the expectations of what this is supposed to look like. Like, and it's, so I'm laughing at myself again, right? Because in the beginning of the video, I was talking about some of those expectations, or some of those things that people believe, right? So it's like, this is a lesson for me as much as every single one of you. Let go of all of that stuff. Let go. Like, this has been a journey, I think, that has been teaching a lot of us how to let go of our expectations, as far as like, what is a relationship supposed to look like? What is love supposed to look like? Like, these are the things that Twin Flames came here to change, was these dynamics, these preconceived notions of like, this is what this is supposed to look like. So in order for us to be able to do that for others, we first have to learn how to do that for ourselves, and just really let go. And that's part of stepping outside of the comfort zone too. It's releasing these expectations, releasing these rigid beliefs and philosophies around. I feel for some of you too, once you release some of those rigid beliefs and philosophies, it's going to allow the energy to flow more easily, right? And even sometimes it's like, we know who our twin flame is, but we're asked to let go of this idea and attachment to them being a certain person, just because something about that keeps the energy stuck. And so for some of you watching this, it's going to be about releasing that attachment. For others of you, it is actually that recognition that you find that sort of sparks some of this powerful change. Whether it sparks you to take action, or it sparks the universe to be like, okay, that's what I was waiting for. So it could be, it's almost like one person needs to release and one person needs to recognize, but both need to be in the flow of surrender, right? Both need to be in that state of surrender. But surrender doesn't mean like not taking action. So surrender is complex, right? It's complicated. Surrender means not trying to control an outcome, or trying to make something look the way we think it needs to look, right? But it doesn't mean not doing anything and the times where we're called to do something. And then just a reminder to look at the big picture. Just always be looking at the big picture. Always know that, especially when it comes to twin flames, there's always a bigger picture. Nothing is exactly as it seems. That's part of the journey. That's part of the test. That's part of the trick, is learning to recognize, like, when things, learning how to look at that bigger picture, learning how to step outside of that box of like our preconceived notions of what things are, right? It's like, just things are not the way that they appear for a reason. A lot of times, especially in the beginning stages of when twin flames meet, right, and we're triggering that shadow material in each other, like we're projecting onto the other person all of our own shit, right? So it's like, then it's really important to look at the bigger picture. But as we move on, it's always important to do that, because it's always like, twin flames aren't here, like we talk about, this isn't a romantic love story. This isn't about just, you know, like settling down and having a happy home and like living a typical PC kind of life and like just being madly in love and, you know, like frolicking together through the grocery store and all of that. Like, that's not what twin flames are here for. Twin flames are here to change the world. They're here to make people to challenge people, to make people question their own theories and ideas and beliefs around love, right? Around family, around all of these different concepts, right? Like, twin flames are here to shake things up. It's about the bigger picture. So we're always being asked to look at that bigger picture. And when it comes to the interactions between us, there's always something else that we're being taught, right? So just really wanting to send that message home. And then also, you and your loved ones are safe. In case anybody was worried about that, you know, that's the new moon in Cancer card. It's, you and your loved ones are absolutely safe. Absolutely safe. That's really all I'm going to say about that. I think that message was just for somebody to know. And then I'm being pulled too on the full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture card. It's the arrow that's always popping up, right? Like the bullseye. This comes up in a lot of videos where we're talking about people wanting to manifest things and the intention, right? So that energy is coming back in again. And as I said that, I looked back down to have faith in your dreams. If you're dreaming it, it's for a reason. Those desires and those dreams were put there to guide you. And confidence is your key to success. And then under that, oh my God, it just keeps going and keeps going. Be bold and make the first move. And your dreams need a practical plan. So this is like, we surrender, right? But at the same time, we take action when we're guided to. We surrender control, but we don't just sit back and do nothing. We surrender the need to control the outcome, to control the situation. And then we're closing with this, because it's perfect, right? The Believe in the Impossible card is coming up. This card always comes up, the Blue Moon card. I mean, I can't say for sure. We've got so much going on. I feel like we did have a blue moon this year so far. We'll probably have another one. I don't know. We got everything going on, but it's the Blue Moon card. Is like, believe in the impossible. All possibilities are possible. Have faith and trust in your dreams. Know that they're guiding you for a reason. Know that absolutely anything can be achieved if we want it enough, if we're willing to do the work that it takes to get it. With the twin flame journey especially, it's like, if we're willing to do the work on ourselves, right? Because until we're whole and complete within ourselves, we're never going to be able to have a successful union with our counterpart. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I want to keep going here, but it's like we're at 58 minutes, so I'm gonna have to let you guys go, because I don't know if all the readings are gonna be quite this long for everyone else. But we were on a roll, guys. I love you guys so very much. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this reading helpful. Definitely, if you like this video. The one with the most likes and comments, as I said, is getting an extra video from both me and Kayla for the month of June. So share this with all your Virgo twin flame friends, anyone you know who's also on this journey. And yeah, if you need an energy healing, if you need a reading, reach out to either me or Kayla. We both do both. They can be so helpful to gain insights and to gain understanding. Like, tarot readings can be really helpful to understand the intricacies of a situation, right? As well as ourselves, and to understand really anything, right? And then energy healing really helps us to get that inner understanding. It really helps too when we're talking about like the cosmic mind and the cosmic heart awakening, and continuing to facilitate that energy, continuing to help us release the things that we're trying to release, to move out of that stagnancy, to move out of that fear, and all of that stuff, all of the stuff. So I highly, highly recommend reaching out to either one of us for that. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. I hope that this eclipse was, not too crazy. I hope this was crazy for you guys in a good way. I get the feeling for a lot of you it was. And just sink into the energy of the 6-6 portal. We're riding this out. June's going to be crazy. We're anchoring in the new earth. I definitely encourage you guys to check out the 6-6 portal, full moon eclipse portal video that Kayla and I just put out. I mean, we're doing it's a beautiful, beautiful time. Just know that where you focus your energy is what is going to manifest. We're doing a massive timeline recalibration right now as I am recording this video. So whatever situation it is that you're dealing with, utilize your insight, utilize your connection to yourself and to spirit, and think about the best possible outcome. Be expecting the best possible outcome. Believe in the impossible, right? All right. I love you guys so much. Bye.